It just could have been better. Miguel coming in with some stars. Appreciate you, Miguel. He says, "Sup, fellas? I'm with Zack. We need an offensive-minded coach." Scott made a good point on that because at least the offense would be stable as long as you have that offensive head coach. So one of the phrases that, one of the talking points with bringing in someone like Dan Quinn is that he has to nail the offensive coordinator. And I'm going to add on to that. Thanks, Miguel. It's not that he just has to nail the offensive coordinator, because if he does, he's going to lose them. So you could be rotating offensive coordinators every single year. So you don't just have to nail the offensive coordinator position. You're probably going to have to nail it again. And then again, if you're sustaining success. Now, Bill Belichick seems to be able to do that. You lose a guy, they go out and fail, he brings him back, and the system's in good shape, and he's always had the, helps when you got Tom Brady as a quarterback. But Dan Quinn's downfall, aside from his general manager thinking that he's the agent for a quarterback in a 7-on-7 league, was after Shanahan was gone, was his offensive coordinator hire of handing the number one offense in the league to a rookie offensive coordinator who had been a disgraced former college head coach. That was moronic, and it cost him his job. So you don't just have to nail it. You have to nail it again and again and again. If you're not the one running that offense. Defense, I think, is easier to be. The old curmudgeon-y guys that want to be lifelong assistants, those are defensive guys. The offensive guys always want to move up the ladder.
You can argue that the offensive coordinator hire would be more important than the head coach hire if they went with Dan Quinn. They have to get that right. The defense, I think, is good enough to run on autopilot. Whatever coach or scheme, they have the talent and they have the overall skill level there. They don't have that on offense. They need someone to whip them and to make that mold of clay into something special. And there's only a few coaches out there I think are capable of that. I don't think, obviously, Dan Quinn's one of them, except or unless he gets that bright offensive mind, whoever it may be. I think I read somewhere on ESPN, it might have been Jeremy Fowler who reported it, that Quinn has already started filling out a staff. So he has some people in mind. We just don't know who that may be. You brought up a good point, though, Scott, about how Nathaniel Hackett's stock rose this weekend without having to do anything because he was on a bye. I really like, though, what the Bengals are doing or what they did to the Raiders, and Brian Callahan, that's an intriguing option. I wouldn't say I'd hire him over Hackett or maybe even over Dan Quinn, but that could be the sneaky dark horse here. He has an interview coming up later this week. If he blows George Payton away, he could be the guy that no one sees coming. And you know what? Considering I know it doesn't call plays in Cincinnati, but neither does Hackett in Green Bay. But what they can do for a quarterback, what they can do for the offense, how they mold that clay, their vision, their creative concepts, that's what the Broncos need. That's what they've long lacked. So I'm really indifferent. Whatever offensive mind they want to pluck from the pool, as long as it's an offensive mind. That's why I'm so reticent to go defense when you failed with VJ and you fail with Vic Fangio, and badly.